Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of University of Education, I Faiza Tariq welcome you all in the lecture number 37 of Computer Communication and Networks. Students, as we all know that rules are very important and required for the smooth functioning of every institution. Similarly, in a computer system, we have protocols. Protocols are nothing but the rules and regulations in the context of a computer systems. They can be implemented by hardware, software, or a combination of both. Students, we should have to know that what exactly is a protocol. Protocols are the rules and conventions explaining how something must be done. So they are used to describe how devices can communicate. So protocols also define the format of data to be exchanged. Students, in the previous week lectures, we have studied about the network layer protocols, in which we have seen that what is our address resolution protocol, ICMP, IP version 4 and IP version 6. In the next lecture, we have learned about the transport layer protocols. In transport layer protocols, we have seen about the transmission control protocol TCP and the UDP user datagram protocol. After that, we have seen that what is a client server model. Students, in our today's lectures, we will learn about application layer protocols, and this is our last lecture of this course, Computer Communication and Networks. Students, in this lecture, we will study about a dynamic host control protocol, that is a DHCP, simple mail transfer protocol, that is SMTP, SNMP, HTTP, POP. About Telnet, we will see about www, we will learn about WLAN, FTP, TFTP and DNS as well. Dear students, just recall that what is a client server model. In the previous class, we have learned a model where there is a server which manages some resources and a number of clients which send requests to the server to access the resource. That is called a client server model. Students, a client is a program running on the local machine requesting services from a server. There is an active open and active close client. Students, a client opens the communication channel using the IP address of the remote host and the well-known port numbers of the specific server program running on the machine, and this is called an active open client. Students, after a channel of communication is opened, the client sends its request and receives a response. So at the moment, the client closes the communication channel with an active close. What is a server? Server is a program running on the remote machine and provides services to the clients. And client is a program that is running on the local machine, that is not running on a remote machine, that is running on a local machine requesting services from a server. Students, as discussed earlier, protocol is a set of rules governing communication. Two computers cannot just send bit streams to each other and expect to be understood without protocols. So entities must agree on a protocol. So it is just like a same example which we have studied in our very earlier lectures, in which same example we will see कि अगर दो लोग जो हैं वो किसी सेम लैंग्वेज में बात कर रहे हैं, they don't need any kind of protocol. But if they both are talking in different languages, they must need some interpreter, that is some intermediate person जो दोनों की बात को एक दूसरे को समझा सकेगा. So protocols करते क्या हैं? Protocols defines that what is communicated, how is communicated, and when is communicated. There are some key elements of protocol. They are syntax. Syntax data format को define करता है, that represents the structure of the format of the data and its and meaning the order in which data is presented. फॉर एग्जाम्पल फर्स्ट 8 बिट हम कहते हैं कि वो सेंडर का एड्रेस है, नेक्स्ट 8 बिट्स जो है वो रिसीवर का एड्रेस है, और जो नेक्स्ट बिट्स रेस्ट ऑफ द बिट्स हैं वो हम कहते हैं कि अगर डाटा है तो ये आपको एक स्ट्रक्चर बता दिया जाता है जिसमें डाटा को प्रेजेंट किया जाता है. नेक्स्ट वन इज द सिमेंटिक. सिमेंटिक refers to the meaning of each section of bit. How is a particular pattern to be interpreted, and what action should be taken based on interpretation. For example, does an address identify the route to be taken or the final destination of the message? So this is called a semantic. Next one is the timing. It refers to two characteristics. The first one is when data should be sent, that is the sequencing, and how fast it should be sent, that is the speed matching. For example, if a sender produces data at 100 Mbps but receiver can only process data at 1 Mbps, then the transmission will overload the receiver and data will be lost. Students, here you can see that this is an example in which you can see that this is a network. This is called a network model, that is only a representation of network operations. The model is not the actual network. Here you can see that these are the layers of application model and these are the layers of TCP IP model. And this is called TCP IP protocol suite, in which the HTTP, DNS and DHCP, FTP protocols are on the application layer, and in OSI model they are on the first three layers. They are application presented and session layer. But in TCP IP protocol model, these layers are covered just in application layer. After that, that is the transport layer protocols. They are the TCP and UDP, and then the network layer protocol. They are IP version 4, IP version 6, ICMP version 4 and ICMP version 5. Then we have a data link layer or physical low-lying layers protocol. They are called the PPP, page frame and Ethernet. Students, here you can see that what is the TCP IP protocol stack. In the first one, you can see application layer. क्या करती है? It collects the data from the application software and format it for further processing. They are the protocols of an application layer: HTTP, FTP, SMTP and POP3. नेक्स्ट वन इज द ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर. ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर क्या करता है? वो पैकेटाइज करता है डाटा को और उसको सीक्वेंस करता है, एरर की करेक्शन करता है हर पैकेट में. एंड द प्रोटोकॉल्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर्स आर टीसीपी एंड यूडीपी. नेक्स्ट इज एन नेटवर्क लेयर प्रोटोकॉल्स. नेटवर्क लेयर क्या करती है? दे एड सोर्स एंड डेस्टिनेशन आईपी एड्रेस टू ईच पैकेट, और आईपी, आईसीएमपी आर द प्रोटोकॉल्स ऑफ नेटवर्क लेयर. Then the link is a physical link, adds source and destination MAC address to each packet and pass to NIC drivers. ARP, RARP and NDP are the protocols of this layer. Students, in today's lecture, we will study about application layers protocol, in which we will see that how can we transfer file. For the transfer of file, we need FTP, FTP or network file system. If you want to send application layer किस चीज़ से डील करती है? Let's suppose कि मैंने एक एक्सप्लोरर खोला, इंटरनेट एक्सप्लोरर, और मैं एक किसी को ईमेल करना चाह रही हूँ, तो हाउ कैन आई सेंड एन ईमेल? उसके लिए मुझे जो है वो किसी ईमेल का प्रोटोकॉल रिक्वायर्ड होगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड अ सिंपल मेल ट्रांसफर प्रोटोकॉल. समटाइम्स ऐसे होता है कि मैं अपने घर के कंप्यूटर पे बैठी हूँ और मेरी जो फ्रेंड है वो अपने घर में कंप्यूटर पर बैठी हुई है, एंड शी नीड सम असिस्टेंस फ्रॉम मी. देन आई कैन से हर दैट आई हैव अ सॉफ्टवेयर इन माई सिस्टम सो दैट आई कैन रिमोटली लॉग इन योर सिस्टम. सो उसके लिए रिमोट लॉग इन होने के लिए वी हैव अ कमांड दैट इज टेलनेट. नेटवर्क मैनेजमेंट क्या है? सिंपल नेटवर्क मैनेजमेंट प्रोटोकॉल है. एंड द नेम मैनेजमेंट क्या है? उसमें डोमेन नेम सिस्टम एग्जिस्ट करता है. Students, here are some more examples in which you can see that what is the Telnet protocol will do. It allows users to access resources on another machine. All data is seen in clear context, not recommended for use. Secure Shell SSH. It is similar to Telnet, but it sets up a secure session recommended over Telnet, so all data is encrypted during the session. Next is the file transfer protocol, allows users to transfer file between two hosts. User must be use some type of authentication, also includes advanced file search features. Next is a trivial file protocol, TFTP, all users to transfer file between two hosts, so user does not need authentication. Also lose a lot of functions such as a directory browsing. Next one is SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol, pulse data from network devices to verify status information or error message. Hypertext Transfer Protocol HTTP क्या करता है? It allows you to display graphics text link correctly. It manages the communication between web browser and web services. Next one is hypertext transfer protocol, that is called HTTP. ये क्या करता है? ये अलाउ करता है डिस्प्ले करना ग्राफिक्स को, टेक्स्ट को एंड लिंक्स को करेक्टली, एंड इट मैनेजेस कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन वेब ब्राउजर्स एंड वेब सर्वर्स. Next one is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. It allows you to display graphics, text and links correctly, manages communication between web browsers and web services. So this version makes sure your web communication is secure using SSL. नेक्स्ट आपके पास है नेटवर्क टाइम प्रोटोकॉल, सिंक्रोनाइज करता है डिवाइसेस को टू मेक श्योर दैट ऑल कंप्यूटर्स ऑन द नेटवर्क हैज करेक्ट टाइम. Next is domain name systems service. It resolves host name on a network after that dynamic host configuration protocol. It assigns IP configuration to host on a network, that is DHCP के conflicts क्या होंगे कि two hosts are the same IP information. If conflicts is detected, is it removed from the pool and then will not be assigned until the same resolves the conflicts by hand. Next one is our AP IPA. This is a client that can automatically sell, configure, and IP address and special and subnet mask. So this will grow communication if you have no DHCP available. So addresses are 169.254. ये क्लास बी से बिलोंग करता है. इसमें जो है आपके पास 0 है और 1 है. 169.254, 255 और 254 आएगा इसका आंसर. Dear students, before moving forward, we should have to recall just the few things that is about the MAC or physical address versus IP address or network address. Students, MAC address can be compared to your name and the network address to your mailing address. For example, if you were to move to another town, your name would remain unchanged, but your mailing address would indicate your new location. So network devices, routers, as well as individual computers have both a MAC address and a protocol or network or IP address as well. Students, when you physically move a computer to a different networks, the computer maintains the same MAC address, but you must assign it a new network address. अभी प्रीवियस क्लासेस में हमने बात की थी कि जब आप फिजिकली मूव करते हो कंप्यूटर टू अ डिफरेंट नेटवर्क तो कंप्यूटर मेंटेन्स द सेम मैक एड्रेस बट यू मस्ट असाइन इट अ न्यू एड्रेस. IP addressing क्या होती है? The Internet Protocol is the most popular implementation of a hierarchical network addressing scheme. So IP is the network protocol that Internet uses. So as information flows down the layer of the OSI model, the data is encapsulated at each layer. So at the network layer, the data is encapsulated within packet. They are also called the user datagrams. So IP determines the form of the IP packet header, which includes addressing and other control information, but does not concern itself with the actual data. So it accepts whatever is passed down from the higher layer. Students, let's start from an application layer protocol. Today's lecture is entirely based on application layers protocol. We will discuss different application layers protocols. The first protocol that we are going to study, that is a dynamic host configuration protocol. Students, dynamic host configuration protocol is a protocol that a personal computer can use to automatically obtain an IP number over the network from dynamic host configuration protocol server. Students, DHCP was created by the Dynamic Host Configuration Working Group of the Internet Engineering Task Force that is run over UDP, and it is utilizing two port numbers. One is the 67 and another one is a 68 number. 67 is for the connections to server and 68 for the connections to client. Student, DHCP is basically used for dynamic configuration. It uses a client server model. So a DHCP is a client server program that is designed to provide information dynamically, and it is used to assign addresses dynamically. What is meant by this? That what is the objective of this protocol? It temporarily binds IP address and other configuration parameters to a DHCP client and provides framework for passing configuration information to hosts. Students, DHCP was designed to provide computers with temporary address. ये computers को temporary address देते हैं और वो situation को adopt कर लेते हैं जहाँ पे host जो है वो एक location से दूसरे location पर अपनी routine में connect हो रहा होता है और disconnect हो रहा होता है। यानी कि एक दफ़ा आपका कोई connection establish हो रहा है, आपको different IP address assign होगा। नेक्स्ट टाइम आप जब सेम इंटरनेट कनेक्शन से जब आप कनेक्ट हो रहे होते हो तो आपको जो है वो कोई होस्ट जब एक जगह से दूसरी जगह मूव करेगा फ्रॉम वन लोकेशन टू अनदर और आर रूटीनली दे आर कनेक्टेड और डिसकनेक्टेड, तो DHCP क्या करेगा? इट इज़ अ वेल अडेप्टेड to situation where host move from one location to another location. इसकी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स में आप देखेंगे कि सेंट्रलाइज्ड एक आईपी एड्रेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन होगी जो मल्टीपल सर्वर्स को सपोर्ट करेगी और डायनेमिक असाइनमेंट्स प्रोवाइड करेगी और एक स्टैटिक असाइनमेंट को अलाउ करेगी कि वो काम कर सके। स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पे अगर आप सॉफ्टवेयर एलिमेंट्स की बात करेंगे तो क्लाइंट का जो सॉफ्टवेयर है वो क्लाइंट मशीन पे इंस्टॉल होगा और वो हैंडल करेगा ब्रॉडकास्ट रिक्वेस्ट्स को और वो एक ऑटोमेटिक आईपी की एक्विजिशन करेगा और एक्वायर करेगा उसकी अदर कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस को। जबकि अगर सर्वर साइड सॉफ्टवेयर की बात करते हैं तो वो सर्वर की साइट पे इंस्टॉल होगा और उसको डिज़ाइन किया जाएगा रिस्पॉन्ड करने के लिए किसको? जो क्लाइंट की रिक्वेस्ट होगी फॉर एन आईपी एड्रेस। सो ये मैनेज करेगा पूल ऑफ आईपी एड्रेसेस को और उससे रिलेटेड कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस को। Here are some addresses for private address, private network. They are 10.0.0.02, 10.255, 255.255. इसकी रेंज है। नेक्स्ट जो प्राइवेट नेटवर्क को असाइन किए गए हैं IP addresses, that is a 172.16.0.02, 172.31.255.255, and these are the ranges that we have studied in our IP version class addresses as well. The last one is it belongs to class C, it belongs to class A, it belongs to class B and it belongs to class C. Class C जो है वो completely जो है वो private network को allocate कर दी गई है। Students, इसके जो है वो डिफरेंट सिक्योरिटी जो है इट इज़ इश्यूज हैं। DHCP प्रोटोकॉल जो है इट इज़ अनऑथेंटिकेटेड प्रोटोकॉल है। जब कनेक्ट किया जाता है नेटवर्क को तो द यूज़र इज़ नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू प्रोवाइड अ क्रेडेंशियल इन ऑर्डर टू ऑब्टेन अ लीज, सो ऑल्सो द सर्वर इज ऑल्सो नॉट द ऑथेंटिकेटेड वन। सो जो malicious users हैं with physical access to the DHCP enabled network, they can start a denial of service attack on DHCP servers by requesting many leases from the server. So therefore, thereby reducing the number of leases that are available to other DHCP clients. Next one is the SNMP. Students, we can say that the functions performed by a network management systems can be divided into five broad categories, like a configuration management, a fault management, they are performance management, security management, and accounting management. Here, students, the SNMP is a simple network protocol, a simple network management protocol, and it is a framework for managing devices in an internet using the TCP/IP protocol suite. So it provides a set of fundamental operations for monitoring and maintaining an internet. Students, it is the most popular protocol for network management. अब ये करता क्या है? It is used to collect for collecting information from and configuring network devices such as the server, printers, hubs, switches, routers on an internet protocol network. So it also works on application layer, and it uses a port number 161 and 162. Students, SNMP defines the format of packet. Packet कौन सा? जो packet एक as we have already discussed in many times in OSI model and TCP model, data nuclear data deals in the form of packets, in the form of frames. सिंपल नेटवर्क मैनेजमेंट प्रोटोकॉल क्या करता है? वो डिफाइन करता है फॉर्मेट ऑफ पैकेट्स जो एक्सचेंज किया जाता है बिटवीन अ मैनेजर एंड द एंड एन एजेंट. वो क्या करेगा? इट रीड्स एंड चेंजेस द स्टेटस, यानी कि वो वैल्यूज को रीड करेगा और चेंज करेगा ऑब्जेक्ट की, जो कि वेरिएबल्स हैं, इन SNMP पैकेट. The next one is SMTP. It stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Students, this is a protocol that is used for sending email over the internet. And SMTP is a push protocol. It pushes the message from client to server. And SMTP uses the port number 24, and it works on application layer. Students, here you should have to know that how an email works. ईमेल किस तरह से जो है वो ट्रांसफ़र होती है. सो इट एक्सप्लेन्स द डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मेल, जिसमें आपके पास जो है यूज़र एजेंट भी आ जाता है, आपके पास जो है वो मेल ट्रांसफ़र एजेंट्स भी आ जाते हैं, और इसके अलावा हमारे पास जो है वो मेल एक्सेस एजेंट्स भी आ जाते हैं. अब यहाँ पे अगर हम देखें कि ईमेल बेसिकली यूजेस टू टाइप्स ऑफ प्रोटोकॉल, जिसमें हम एक प्रोटोकॉल जो है वो कहते हैं कि दैट इज अ पुश प्रोटोकॉल एंड अदर वन इज अ पुल प्रोटोकॉल. दो तरह के प्रोटोकॉल है, एक पुश प्रोटोकॉल है और एक पुल प्रोटोकॉल है, और जो इनेबल करते हैं कंप्यूटर यूजर्स को कि वो ईमेल को सेंड एंड रिसीव कर सकें. सिंपल मेल ट्रांसफ़र प्रोटोकॉल एक प्राइमरी मेल ट्रांसफ़र प्रोटोकॉल है, जो एक प्राइमरी मेल ट्रांसफ़र एजेंट प्रोटोकॉल को यूज़ करता है पुश करने के लिए मेल को बिटवीन एंड कंप्यूटर्स एंड मेल सर्वर, और एक आपके पास मेल एक्सेस एजेंट होता है जिसको हम MMA प्रोटोकॉल कहते हैं. लाइक आपकी ये जो आउटलुक में POP3 मेल्स होती हैं, दे आर यूज फॉर रिट्रीविंग द इनकमिंग मेल्स फ्रॉम द लोकल मेल सर्वर. सो यहाँ पे एक पुश प्रोटोकॉल होता है, एक पुल प्रोटोकॉल होता है. पुश प्रोटोकॉल मेल को जो है वो सेंड कर रहा होता है और पुल प्रोटोकॉल मेल को रिसीव कर रहा होता है. सो इन द केस ऑफ वेब बेस्ड ईमेल, यहाँ पे HTTP जो है वो यूज होता है एज अ कैरियर प्रोटोकॉल इन द फर्स्ट एंड लास्ट सेगमेंट ऑफ एन ईमेल by the sender for sending the mail to the local mail server, and by the receiver to receive the mail from the receiver's email. सो यहाँ पे जो है वो आपको अगेन यू शुड हैव टू नो कि किस तरह से जो है वो ईमेल को हम जो है वो सेंड और रिसीव करते हैं, और किस तरह से उसमें जो है वो सेंडिंग ऑफ ईमेल जो है वो किन किन प्रोसेसेस के थ्रू जो है वो यूज़र एजेंट से और उसके अलावा जो है वो मेल सर्विस के थ्रू जो है वो जाती है। और किस तरह से जो है SMTP एक प्राइमरी MTA प्रोटोकॉल को यूज करता है between the mail servers and also between end clients and mail servers for sending the mail. So it is a simple text-based protocol. SMTP is a simple text-based protocol that enables users to send email. So it is a push protocol because it is used to push an email from a sender to the receiver, and it is an application layer protocol which is running on top of TCP. SMTP server typically waits on TCP port number 25. So though it supports sending mails only in ASCII format, so it allows extensions in the form of MIME, multi-purpose internet mail extensions for carrying a wide variety of data format, including binary images, audio, or video. So it is a text-based request response kind server protocol with simple message like hello, mail from RCTP to data. So it is a simple SMTP session of an email is given in this scenario. Next one is a WLAN, that is a wireless LAN. We should have to know that what are the uses of wireless LAN, wireless transmission medium, why it is used to have high prices, low data rates, occupational safety concerns, and licensing requirements. So it is an application of LAN extension that saves the installation of LAN cabling, and it is easy relocation and other modification to network structures. However, increasing reliance on twisted pair cable for LAN, most older buildings already wired with category 3 cable 100 m or 4 Mbps, but newer buildings are pre-wired with category 5 100 m 1000 Mbps. Wireless LANs to replace wired LAN has not happened, so in some environments, role of the wireless LAN, buildings with large open areas, manufacturing plants, stock exchange trading floors, warehouse and their historical buildings, and small offices where wired LANs are not economical. So it may also have wired LAN, servers and stationary workstations. Students, it provides a wireless network communication over short distance using radio or infrared signals instead of traditional network cabling. And WLANs are built by attaching a device that is called the access point to the edge of the wired networks. Clients can communicate with the AP access points using a wireless network adapter. So it is similar in function to our traditional Ethernet adapters or traditional local area networks. Next one is a post office protocol. Students, it is used to retrieve email from a mail server like in the previous as a simple mail transfer protocol in which we have studied about a pull protocol. So it is a pull protocol from mail server the client, it pulls the message, and it is an application layer protocols and it uses port number 110. www, what is a www? It is a worldwide web in a repository of information which is linked together from points all over the world. So the www today is a distributed client server service in which a client using a browser and can access a services using a server. In 19 which came first, internet or www? अब सबसे पहले जो था we should have to know कि internet जो है वो आया कि www. Students, in 1972, Telnet developed a way to connect the remote computer. In 1972, email introduced. And in 1973, ARPANET goes international. In 1973, File Transfer Protocol established. So WWW is a World Wide Web via internet computers can connect each other. So public files on a computers can be read by the remote users by using the HTML hypertext markup language. URL is a universal resource locator is the name of a file on a remote computer. Next is an HTTP. World Wide Web uses HTTP servers. www जो है वो HTTP के सर्वर को यूज करता है and it is better known as a web server. इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Web servers. Students receives HTTP type to open website request and requested file in packets. So HTTP is a hypertext transfer protocol. Is a set of rules for transferring file like a text, graphic, images, sound, videos, and other multimedia files on the www. The hypertext transfer protocol is a protocol which is used mainly to access data on the World Wide Web. So HTTP is an application layer protocol and it uses the port number 80. And the web browsers are the software that we use to view the web pages. So what is WW? Via internet, computers can contact each other. Public files on computers can be read by remote users, and HTTP protocol can be used mainly to access data on the World Wide Web. And how you can access this? Through the URL. Uniform Universal Resource Locator is a name of file or on a remote computer. Next one is a telnet. It is an abbreviation of Terminal Network. It is the standard TCP/IP protocol for virtual terminal services. Telnet enables the establishment of a connection to the remote system. If you want to access the system of your friend remotely, then you will use this protocol. Telnet is a general purpose client server application program and it also works on application layer. जब हम किसी के सिस्टम दूसरे के सिस्टम को रिमोट एक्सेस करना चाहेंगे किसी रिमोट एरिया से, then we need this protocol. It works on application layer and it uses only one TCP connection and it uses port number 23. It is a protocol that provides a general bidirectional 8-bit or 1-byte oriented communication facility. So many application protocols are built upon the Telnet protocol. It is a TCP connection protocol and data and control over the same connection and also uses the network virtual terminal. So intermediate representation of a generic terminal and provides a standard language for communication of terminal control functions. किस तरह से आपका जो है वो एक TCP से दूसरी TCP पे सेंडर एंड रिसीवर में नेटवर्क वर्चुअल टर्मिनल जो है वो आपको सर्वर की प्रोसेस को जो है वो एक्सेस कराता है. So here हम जो है वो यहाँ आपके this is your TCP IP, then a network virtual terminal, and then the user who is using the system. So at the client side, server process इसको एक्सेस करेगा सर्वर के प्रोसेस को और यहाँ पे भी आपके पास जो है वो TCP होगा और NVT होगा. Students, the next one is a file transfer protocol. File transfer protocol, whenever you want to transfer a file from one system to another system, file transfer uses the services of TCP. So it needs two TCP connections. The well-known port number 21 is used for the control connection and the well-known port number 20 is used for the data connection. So file transfer protocol is a standard network protocol that is used to transfer file from one host to another host over a TCP based network such as an internet. After that, we will study about the trivial file transfer protocol. It is generally used for automated transfer of configuration or boot files between machines in a local environment. It is used to transfer files between processes. It is generally used for automated transfer of configuration or boot files between machine in a local environment, and it is a simplified version of FTP. Unlike FTP or TFTP has no login features, it does not prompt for username and password. So TFTP uses UDP port number 69 to establish network connections. Students, TFTP protocol have 5 message protocols. What are these 5 message protocols? Read to read request, to write request, data, acknowledgement, and error. ये 5 मैसेज टाइप्स जो है इसमें TFTP प्रोटोकॉल्स में होती हैं. द फर्स्ट वन इज़ द रीड रिक्वेस्ट किस तरह से करनी है, देन राइट रिक्वेस्ट कैसे करनी है, और उसके बाद डाटा को कैसे शेयर करना है, एंड देन एक्नॉलेजमेंट कैसे आनी है, एंड इफ़ देयर इज़ एन एरर तो उसको किस तरह से एरर को जो है हमने आइडेंटिफाई करना है. After that, we will study about a domain name system protocol. Students, a domain name system translate an internet domain and host name to an IP address. It is very much difficult for us to remember an IP address like 192.168.100.1 or 224.254.222.2 like this. It is not easy for us to remember the IP एड्रेस. हमें कोई भी वेबसाइट को अगर एक्सेस करना है तो हर लाइक www.yahoo.com है, तो हमारे आसानी के लिए जो है वो डोमेन्स को नेम दे दिए गए हैं सो दैट वी कैन रिमेंबर देम. अदरवाइज वो जब प्रोसेस होते हैं तो वो थ्रू आईपी एड्रेस ही होते हैं. तो डोमेन नेम सिस्टम एक ऐसा प्रोटोकॉल है जो ट्रांसलेट करता है इंटरनेट डोमेन को और होस्ट के नेम्स को टू एन आईपी एड्रेस. सो डीएनएस जो है वो ऑटोमेटिकली कन्वर्ट करता है नेम्स को जो हम टाइप करते हैं अपने वेब ब्राउजर्स के अंदर उसकी बार में टू द आईपी एड्रेसेस ऑफ वेब सर्वर्स होस्टिंग दोज साइट्स. So DNS technology allows hosts on TCP/IP network to be addressed by its name. So DNS automatically convert the names we type in our web browsers address bar to the IP addresses of web server hosting those sites. So यहाँ पे जो है like सबसे पहले आपके पास जो है वो आपका एक होस्ट नेम होता है, देन आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डोमेन होती है जैसे ue.edu.pk के अंदर आपके पास जो है सबसे पहले आपका होस्ट का नेम है, देन आपकी जो है वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डोमेन है, एंड देन आपके पास जो है वो टॉप लेवल आ जाता है. सो डीएनएस सर्वर जो है यहाँ पे डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ डीएनएस सर्वर अवेलेबल होंगे दैट वी कैन इंस्टॉल एनी ऑफ देम एज पर आवर रिक्वायरमेंट. सो इट इज़ ऑफ 3 टाइप्स. प्राइमरी होगा, या आपके पास जो है वो सेकेंडरी होगा, या आपके पास जो है वो उसके जो है वो उसमें नेक्स्ट आपके पास जो है लोकल स्टोर अगर फाइल कर रहे हैं नेम ऑफ सर्वर को तो उस केस के लिए there are different types of DNS servers होंगे. It is of 3 types. One is the primary that is locally stored file exist on the name server database, और एक secondary होगा जो get करेगा data called a zone transfer from another server that is the zone authority. And then we have a DNS queries packet that is formed at the application layer. Students, a DNS automatically convert the names we type in our website, a web browser's address bar to the IP address of the web server hosting those sites. It uses a 53 port number and it is an application layer service. Now the next one is a Bootstrap BootTP. BootP, it is a network protocol that is used by a network client to obtain an IP address from a configuration server. Students, BootP is usually used during the bootstrap process when a computer is starting up. आपको पता है कि जब कंप्यूटर स्टार्टअप होता है तो उस स्टार्टअप होने के प्रोसेस को जब आप कंप्यूटर को स्विच ऑन करने से लेकर आपके लोड होने तक का जो टाइम होता है विंडोज़ का, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड अ बूटस्ट्रैप प्रोसेस. सो बूटस्ट्रैप प्रोटोकॉल जो है वो क्या करता है, इट इज़ अ होस्ट कॉन्फ़िगरेशन प्रोटोकॉल दैट इज़ डेवलप्ड बिफोर द DHCP. Students, in our today's lecture, we have tried our best to cover the maximum application layer protocols. We have get a little bit idea of all about all these protocols. Students, this is our last of this course, that is computer communication and networks. Students, in this course, we have studied almost all the important topics that is in the computer communication and networks. Students, in this course, first part, we have studied about the computer communication, And after that, we have studied about a computer networks. We have tried our best to cover the maximum topics of this course. I hope you have understand or you have cleared all the topics that we have studied. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe. Allah Hafiz.